Laudetur Jesus Christus, praise be Jesus Christ. Welcome to this live broadcast of the Angelus here in St. Peter's Square of the Vatican, with just a few days to go before Christmas Day. Pope Francis will soon lead us in praying the Angelus on the fourth Sunday of Advent, and thereafter he will give a blessing that extends to you who are watching us live or listening to this live event. My name is Father Paul Samasumo, and I'll do my best to bring you the live commentary of the Angelus in English. A special welcome to our television viewers and radio listeners of Shalom World TV, Catholic TV, Catholic Faith Network, EWTN Television, Salt and Light TV, Atma Darshan TV of India, Luminous Radio in India, and Radio Maria, Papua New Guinea. We also welcome those of you joining us through the various Vatican media channels, the Vatican Media Live Events Radio app, Radio Vaticano app, Vatican News web portal, Vatican News English YouTube channel, and even our Vatican News Facebook live feed. As I said, just a few days to go before Christmas. We do have a sizable crowd in the square, notwithstanding coronavirus restrictions, but as you can see, most of them are self-distancing there. Do remember that Pope Francis will not hold the usual Wednesday audience this week. Instead, on Thursday evening at 19:30 or 7:30 p.m., that is Rome time, Pope Francis will celebrate the Christmas Eve Mass, sometimes referred to as the Midnight Mass, but it is being held early due to coronavirus restrictions. Anytime Pope Francis is going to appear, and there he is at the window of his study, and a loud, cheerful greeting from the crowd gathered in St. Peter's Square.
Cari fratelli e sorelle,
Dear brothers and sisters, good afternoon.
in questa quarta e ultima domenica di Avvento,
On this fourth and final Sunday of Advent, the Gospel proposes us once again the account of the Annunciation. Rejoice, says the angel to Mary, you will conceive in your womb a son, and you call his name Jesus. It seems an announcement of pure joy, destined to make the Virgin happy. Among the women of that time, which woman did not dream of becoming the mother of the Messiah? But along with this joy, those words foretell a great trial for Mary. Why? Because in that moment, she was betrothed to Joseph. She was promised to Joseph. In such a situation, the law of Moses stipulated that there should be no relations or cohabitation. Therefore, in having a son, Mary would have transgressed the law, and the punishment for women were terrible. It was foreseen that they would be stoned. Certainly, the divine message would have filled Mary's heart with light and strength. Nevertheless, she found herself faced with a crucial decision: to say yes to God, risking everything, even her life, or to decline the invitation and to continue with her ordinary life. What does she do? She responds thus: let it be to me according to your word. In the language in which the Gospel is written, it does not mean just an ordinary yes, but it is a strong and active submission. It's not a submission to God. She's not just saying, if it has to happen, let it happen, if it cannot be otherwise. No, she does not express a weak and submissive acceptance, but she expresses a strong and vivacious desire.
non è passiva,
It is not
è
passive,
attiva.
but it is active.
Non subisce Dio,
She does not submit to
aderisce a
God.
Dio.
She binds herself to
È
God.
un'innamorata,
She
disposta a
is a
servire
woman
tutto
in love,
e
prepared
subito il
to
suo
serve her
Signore.
Lord completely and immediately.
Avrebbe potuto chiedere un po' di
She
tempo per
could have
pensarci,
asked for a little time
oppure
to
maggiori
think about it,
spiegazioni
or
su che
even
cosa
more
sarebbe successo.
explanation about what would happen.
Magari porre qualche condizione.
Perhaps she could have even set some
Invece non
conditions.
prende tempo,
Instead, she
non
does
fa
not take
aspettare.
time. She does not keep
Dio
God
non
waiting.
rinvia.
She does not delay.
Quante volte pensiamo a noi adesso?
Let us think about
Quante volte
ourselves.
la
How
nostra
often
vita
in
è
our
fatta
lives,
di rinvii?
our lives are made
Anche
of
la vita spirituale.
postponements, even our spiritual
Sì,
lives.
so che mi fa bene pregare, ma
I
oggi
know
non
it's
ho
good for
tempo,
me to
domani.
pray, but
Lo
today
stesso
I do
dice
not have
domani,
time.
domani e domani.
Tomorrow and
Rinviamo
tomorrow
qualcosa.
we postpone things.
Lo farò domani.
I will do it tomorrow.
So che aiutare qualcuno è molto importante.
I know that
farlo.
to help someone is important,
La stessa
but
catena dei
today I
domani.
can't. I'll do tomorrow. Then we have a chain of tomorrows,
Oggi,
postponing.
alle porte del Natale,
Today, on the
Maria
threshold
ci
of
invita
Christmas,
a non
Mary
rimandare,
invites us not to
a dire
postpone,
sì.
but to say yes.
Devo pregare? Sì.
If I have to pray, yes, I try to
Devo aiutare gli
pray.
altri? Sì.
If I have to help someone, yes, how am I going to do it?
Senza
And I do it
rimandare.
without postponing.
Ogni sì
Every
costa.
yes costs something,
Ogni sì costa. Ma sempre meno di quanto
but it
costò
always
a lei
costs
quel
less
sì
than what
coraggioso,
that courageous
quel
and
sì
prompt
pronto,
yes
quel
that
avvenga
costs
per
her
me secondo la tua
when
parola
she said, "Let it
che ci ha
be
portato
to
la
me
salvezza.
according to your word," which brought us
E
salvation.
noi, quali
And
sì
us,
possiamo dire
what yes can we say?
in questo tempo difficile?
In this,
Anziché
instead of
lamentarsi di quello
complaining in
che la
these
pandemia ci
difficult
impedisce di
times
fare,
about what the
facciamo
pandemic
qualcosa
prevents us
per
from
chi ha di
doing,
meno,
let us do something
non
for someone who
l'ennesimo
has
regalo
less.
per noi
Not the endless
e
gift
per i
for
nostri
ourselves
amici,
and our
ma
friends,
per un
but
bisognoso
for a person in
cui
need,
nessuno pensa.
whom no one thinks of.
E un altro consiglio,
Another piece of advice.
perché Gesù nasca in noi,
In order for
prepariamo il
Jesus to be
cuore,
born in us, let us
andiamo a pregare,
prepare our hearts. Let us go and pray.
non ci lasciamo portare avanti dal consumismo.
Let us not let
Devo
ourselves
comprare il regalo,
be
devo fare questo,
taken up by
questo.
consumerism. I need
Di
to
fare
buy this,
cose.
a frenetic wish to buy
L'importante è
things.
Gesù.
The most important thing is
Il
Jesus.
consumismo.
Consumerism.
Consumismo, fratelli e sorelle, ci ha sequestrato il Natale.
Consumerism, dear brothers and sisters, has taken over our Christmas.
Non è nella mangiatoia.
Consumerism is not in the manger of Bethlehem. There we see poverty, a reality, and love.
Prepariamo il cuore come di Maria.
Let us prepare our hearts as that of Mary,
Accogliente,
being welcoming
ascoltare Dio.
and listening to God.
Avvenga per me secondo la tua
Let it
parola.
be to me according to your word.
L'ultima frase della Vergine
This
in
is the
quest'ultima
Blessed
domenica
Virgin
di
Mary's last word for this last Advent, and it is an invitation to take a genuine step towards Christmas. For if the birth of Jesus does not touch our lives, your life and all our lives, if it does not touch all our lives, it slips past us in vain. In the Angelus now, we too will say, "Let your word be fulfilled in me." May Our Lady help us to say it with our lives, with an attitude in these last days of preparing for Christmas. And now the Angelus prayer in Latin, after which the Pope will give us a blessing.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ecce ancilla Domini.
Fiat mi secundum verbum tuum.
Ave Maria, grazia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Verbum caro factum est.
Et habitavit in nobis.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ora pro nobis, Santa Dei Genitrix.
Ut digni efficiamur promissionibus Christi.
Gratiam Tuam, quae sumus Domine, mentibus nostris infunde, ut angelo nuntiante, Christi Filii Tui, incarnationem coniovimus, per passionem eius et crucem, a resurrectionis gloriam perducamur. Per Christum Dominum nostrum.
Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Pro fidelibus defuntis. Requiem aeternam dona eis Domine.
Et lux perpetua lucet eis.
Requiescant in pace.
Amen.
Sit nomen Domini benedictum.
Ex hoc nunc et usque in saeculum.
Aiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini.
Qui fecit caelum et terram.
Benedicat vos, omnipotens Deus, Pater, et Filius, et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
Amen.
There we are. We've just received the blessing from the Holy Father, and he gave us earlier on an exhortation, inspiring us to remember to follow Mary.
Fratelli e sorelle,
Dear brothers and sisters,
la pandemia di coronavirus
the coronavirus pandemic has
ai
caused
lavoratori marittimi.
a lot of disadvantages to those seafarers, those who work at sea. More than
mondo
about
sono
4,000
bloccati sulle navi oltre i termini dei loro
people
contratti e non possono
have lost
tornare a
contracts,
casa.
and many cannot return home,
Chiedo
are blocked at sea.
alla Vergine Maria, Stella Maris,
I pray to
di
Mary,
confortare
who
queste
is
persone e tutti
the
quelli che
patroness,
vivono situazioni
to
di
comfort
difficoltà,
all those people at sea, the seafarers,
esorto i
who
governi
are
a fare il
having
possibile
difficulties,
perché possano
and that governments
ritornare
will be able to
i
help
loro
them
cari.
to return home.
Quest'anno
This year,
gli organizzatori hanno avuto la felice idea
the
di
organizers
fare la mostra 100 presepi sotto
wanted
il
to make
colonnato.
the nativity scene
Sono tanti
here.
presepi
In the
svolgono
columns of
proprio una
St. Peter's,
catechesi
there are
della
about
fede al popolo
100
di Dio.
nativities, or
Vi invito a visitare
I
i
invite you
presepi
to
sotto il
visit the
colonnato
100 nativity
capire
scenes
come
that are in the
la
columns of
gente
St.
cerca
Peter's.
con l'arte
Then you
di
will
far
see what
vedere
people
come
are
nacque
trying to
Gesù.
do with
I
art.
presepi che sono sotto il colonnato sono una
Those
grande catechesi
nativity
della nostra
scenes
fede.
in the columns or at home
Saluto
are
tutti
a
voi,
catechesis for
romani,
our faith.
pellegrini di vari paesi,
And now the Pope
famiglie,
greeting the
gruppi
people
parrocchiali,
who are
associazioni
in
e
the
singoli
square.
fedeli. Il Natale ormai vicino,
Christmas is
sia
near
per
now,
ciascuno
that it will
occasione
be
di
for all of us
rinnovamento
a moment to
interiore,
review and
di
to
preghiera, di
renew our lives
conversione,
interiorly,
di passi avanti
with
nella
conversion, and
di
also to
fraternità
make
fra noi.
advances in our faith.
Guardiamoci intorno,
Let us look inside ourselves,
guardiamo soprattutto a quanti sono nell'indigenza,
especially those that are not
fratello che
well,
soffre,
those that are
dovunque
suffering,
si trovi.
poor, wherever they
Quello
are.
che soffre ci
A
appartiene.
brother and sister who is suffering is
È
part of
Gesù
us.
nella mangiatoia.
And Jesus in the manger,
Quello che soffre è Gesù.
that is Jesus in the manger. Whoever you see is suffering is actually a representation of
In
Jesus.
questo fratello,
May Christmas
questa
be
sorella.
a moment for us to come closer to
Il
those that are
fratello
suffering.
bisognoso.
In
Il
our
presepe al quale
suffering
dobbiamo
brother
attaccarci con
and sister,
solidarietà, questo è il presepe vivente.
we need to respond
Il
with
presepe
solidarity.
incontreremo davvero il
Thus,
Redentore nelle
the
persone che
poor
hanno bisogno.
are actually a living
Camminiamo
nativity scene.
pertanto verso la nota santa e attendiamo il
And as
compito del
we
mistero della
move
salvezza.
towards our mystery of salvation at Christmas,
E a tutti auguro
wish
una
God-
buona domenica.
and so he wishes us
Per
all
favore, non dimenticatevi di
a
pregare
lovely
per me.
Sunday. Please do not forget to pray for
Buon
me.
pranzo e arrivederci.
Enjoy your lunch and arrivederci. Viva Papa, respond the crowd in St. Peter's Square. And that brings us to the end of our Angelus for this fourth Sunday of Advent with Pope Francis in St. Peter's Square. As I said earlier, do take note that Pope Francis will not have the usual Wednesday audience this week. Instead, on Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. Rome time, you can join us for Christmas Eve Mass. My name is Father Paul Samasumo. Allow me, before we go, to thank our television viewers and radio listeners of Catholic TV, Shalom World TV, Catholic Faith Network, EWTN Television, Salt and Light Television, Atmadashan TV, Luminous Radio, and Radio Maria, Papua New Guinea. On behalf of Vatican Media, a big thank you to all our technicians who have made this broadcast possible, and to all of you for joining us. Thank you, and have a blessed Sunday, and Merry Christmas. Laudato Jesus Christus, praise be Jesus Christ.